This is Kellie Day, mixed media artist and art mentor with Charla Montgomery. I'm here to interview Charla today, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Okay, let me make sure we're looking at the right screen. Okay, looks like we're all set up. So you guys, Charla is a student of mine. We met last June, and she is from Texas and lives in the Hill Country. And I just wanted to share your story with Charla today to inspire those of you who want to get your art going, but maybe are having some doubts or uncertainties about whether or not you can do it. Charla has a fantastic story, and I wanted to inspire you by sharing her story here. And so, before we dive into all that, Charla, just tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're camping and you're in an RV right now, so thanks for coming here, even though you're camping today.
Sure, absolutely. No, I'm thrilled to be here and to have the opportunity. I'm 61, so there's a lot to tell about myself. So I'll focus more on as it relates to art.
Give us a little background to get started.
Yeah, I grew up in a family that my father was an architect, my mom interior designer, my sister worked in the advertising industry, and my brother, so artists everywhere. And I was always told, you're the kid that has the people skills. And I was much younger, so I was always comparing. I would have an art class and I'd come home with my little whatever I had done and compare it to my older siblings and think, oh man, I can't do art and I'm not creative. And so I carried that into my adult life, and I did dabble some. I did some mosaic things and a little bit of creative things, and I've got a good sense of color, and I can put a house together in terms of interior design and that. So I've got some natural skill, but I didn't have confidence, and I just didn't ever try. And then I went through an incredibly difficult time in my life. I was sick physically, just emotionally, spiritually, kind of the whole thing. And I won't get into all the details with that, but it was a pretty tragic time in my life. And, really had to find the will to stay here. It was a rough patch, and have come out on the other side of that. And having done that, there's so much inside of me. I'm learning to play the guitar, and am really enjoying that. And the biggest thing was, okay, I want to do art. And so I bought some canvases and bought some paint and some palette knives and just started whacking stuff on there, and just, and it looked okay, but it was like, I don't have skills. I don't know, what to do. And I constantly was second guessing myself. And, who do you think you are? You're not an artist. You can't do this. And I saw Kellie's ad, I guess we would call it, or whatever, on Facebook, and listened. And I thought, you know what? I am calling Kellie, and if we're a fit, we get along, because I'm a strong personality and she can handle anybody, I'll just tell you. And, she liked me and said, yes, I think I can work with you. And I jumped in. And so I have grown tremendously. And from there, I'll let Kellie ask the questions.
Yeah. Let me jump in here. There's so much to talk about. So Charla, I think the biggest question I have, that I think other people might have, is, your brother and sister were super creative. You were watching them being creative people. You felt like you didn't have the ability. You've got a really successful business, you're a people person. Why didn't you just go with that? Why was it so important to make the art happen?
Well, I think it was a part of me that was thrown back in the background and kind of ignored. And whenever there would be why don't you, it would be, oh, no, you can't do that. So It was very important to access what was calling out in my heart and inside of me, to honor that and to go do it. I mean, to your point, I forgot to mention I do have a successful business, and I went for that. I didn't know if it was going to go or not go or what. And I just put the work in, and I learned, through experience and some ups and downs with it, and it's still successful even through COVID. So, you know, I knew I had it
Okay.
in me. I didn't know how to access it.
Okay, that's so cool. You knew you had it in you, but you didn't know how to access it. And I feel like that is a feeling that a lot of women have, that they feel like they've got great paintings in them, but they don't know how to get it out of them. So
Mhm.
I'm curious, like before you met me, what did you try? You said you were slapping paint on the canvas. Did you take any classes or work with anyone else? Or how did you begin that journey of trying to get your art out of you?
Well, way back in probably 2012, I had a friend who was just getting into her art career, and she had a studio and she does oil. And I said, I want to come try. And so she said, okay, you got to cover the canvas and, get your background in that. So I kind of patterned, I was watching what she was doing, and she's a pretty chunky, painter. She puts a lot of paint on and moves it around and does all that. And I loved it, and it felt like butter. And, but that was it. It was like, I still didn't think I had any skill. And, so I did that. And then I did take some watercolor lessons, and I really enjoyed the teacher. She was super nice, but it was small, and it was contained in the lines. And it was, there was something in me that wanted to go, wow, on the
You don't seem
canvas.
like a contained in the lines kind of gal,
No,
Charla.
no. And so, and I thought that art, real art had to be those perfect paintings where, the
Yeah.
shine in the eye was just right. And
Yeah.
the,
A lot of
everything.
people think that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so my expectation of myself and what real art was that. And a lot of it's ignorance too, because I've not had a lot of exposure to the art world. And a lot of what you teach in the mixed media process and all of that was new and very exciting. I got so many new tools.
Yeah.
But so I felt kind of constrained in what I was learning. And then when I just went for it on the canvas, it felt good, but I didn't, it was like, it was all abstract stuff. And I wanted to do more than that. And I didn't think I could draw, number one. I didn't, I was like, oh, you draw like a kid.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I think I draw like a cool kid.
Hell yes, you do draw like a cool kid. And that's part of it, is just owning who you are, right? Owning that and being comfortable and confident with that. So what was the final straw that made you jump in with me? Like, you were taking classes, you were doing it on your own, you were doing it with a friend, you were doing watercolor. What was the final straw that just kind of made you said, if I'm going to do this, I need something else? What was it?
I was driving in the hill country in my little sports car and looking at the countryside and thinking, I want to paint nature and animals, and because we've got axis deer, there's just all kinds of neat stuff around. And I thought, and I don't know how. And I had seen your on Facebook, and I guess probably, talking to you was what made me say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I owe it to myself to do it. And I'm going to invest in myself. It's self-care, instead of putting myself on the shelf and do that later. Well, I'm 60, and later is not later, later's now. Not everybody listening may be this age, but I'll just say, if it's in there, don't wait. Because now I think, God, what could I have done if I'd started this when I was 40?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that. I always say the people that wait are waiters, and the people that paint are painters. And the people that wait, it never happens. You just keep waiting for the perfect time, but there's no perfect time.
Yeah.
And now, what?
And then you die.
And then you die. And it's sad. You don't want to get to the finish line and feel like you never really went for it.
Right.
I know that's why I had to put everything I had into my art as well. And now look at you. I mean, you started this in June with me, and you've made, like, I think everybody saw the picture here. There was like a huge room full of art. And so I guess my next question is, what was it about working with me and the program that really helped you break free and start to create all this beautiful art that you've been waiting to make? What helped you the most?
You know, you
Or what made the
provided
difference? Yeah.
yeah, you provided the framework, the structure, the tools, the lists of this is what you need, um, and the accountability. You know, you've got a velvet hammer. So I have a trainer that works for me, and she's like that. She's wonderful and great, but she will hit you with the hammer with velvet on it when you need it, you know? I mean, I would send you an email, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah. And you would like, Charla, you know this. And,
Right,
you
right,
know, I can't believe you're asking me this question. You can do this, go do it, and then get back to me. And I was like, yep, she's right. So a voice of confidence, encouraging, but, you know, also firm. And you didn't let me be a weenie about something and get stuck in whining. You're like, go do it. And so that, and also you have a joy about you really enjoy what you do and helping women do
Yeah.
this. And so, you know, that's very appealing. And you're also very encouraging. You know, you find what I'm doing well and ask for more of that.
Mhm.
And then if there's something that needs to be addressed, then saying, okay, this is how you do this, now you go do it. You never really told me what to do, you told me how to do it, and then I
Right.
had to go do it for myself.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and
You know,
just, you
that's
know,
so important because I didn't want you to come out of there painting what I'm painting. I wanted you to come out of there painting what's in your soul,
right, yeah,
right? And that's the
yeah,
difference between this and another watercolor class is it's not just the technique, it's bringing out who you really are and giving you the confidence and the strength to get those mental blocks out of the way so you can do what you're meant to do, you
well,
know?
exactly, you know. And as you talk about, you know, those, the inner critic is what I call it, Betty, or, you know, whatever. But um silencing those, or saying, you know, I notice you're active today and you've got an opinion, and you can keep it to yourself, and I'm going to go over here and do this, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, learning
um
to manage that critic. Yeah.
yeah, I think was very helpful. And I had something else I was going to say, and it left me, but
Okay, that's okay. I've got more questions for you. And if it comes back, let us know.
okay, okay.
What were the challenges? Like, you know, were you nervous to start the program? Were you nervous to like go big with your art? Like, what were your fears? What were your thoughts? You know,
Well,
sometimes people are afraid. They think, oh, this isn't gonna, I'm never, you know, it's not gonna work for me, you know?
yeah, well, I think, you know, at first I was really motivated to do this and sell the artwork, and
Mhm.
think, you know, well, who's going to want to buy this? And one of the things I learned was, and you said it to me, I don't know if this is your exact words, but it's like, if you paint from the heart and you put it out there, then whoever it's supposed to touch will be touched, and they'll want it. Don't
Mhm.
worry about pleasing the masses. Paint from your heart and soul, and people, or whoever's supposed to be attractive, will be.
Yes.
And that was big, because I have been a proponent of that type of thinking in other ways, but I didn't know how to apply it to the art.
Mhm.
And because I was stuck in the perfectionism and the self-doubt, you know, I think that was really just I didn't think I could do it, you know. And yes, I can. And I learned that through your program, not
Yeah.
anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you had those fears and you did it anyway. So, I mean, it just sounds like for you, it just took taking the leap and being scared, but doing it anyway. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Very much so. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's you know, the old saying that the biggest thing about fear is fear itself. And, you know, so to just not, or however the saying
Was
goes,
that
but
Winston Churchill? I can't
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, it was Churchill. And I'm sure I butchered it, but I'm sure everybody gets the point.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, they say courage, I guess, is acting even if you are afraid.
Yeah.
And what happens in life, I mean, we're all afraid different times in our lives. And so you just, when you're learning how to drive, it's scary, it's new. Um, so I just walked right through it. And because of what I had come through, I really thought, okay, I'm not afraid of anything. I got through that. I can do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so
powerful. Mm-hmm.
it is, it's, I'm so glad what happened and that I'm on the other side of it, physically healthy, spiritually healthy. I had a lot of good tools going into it before it happened that I was able to call on, but now I've had the ability to access my creativity, and painting is just, I just love it. And I recently planted a garden getting started for this year, and I already have not hummingbirds, but butterflies and different kinds of bees. And I'm out there taking pictures of them and talking to them. I found a bee I'm going to paint, and I'm out there saying, "You're my next inspiration. I'm going to paint you, you little guy." So,
So how does that feel? Like, you just told me before we got on this interview that you're gonna just keep painting. And how does that feel now to like know that you love doing it for yourself? People want to buy your art, you're telling me, for a lot of money. And just to know that you have the skills to do this for the rest of your life, like what does that add to your life that you didn't have before?
I would say it's been a big missing piece. And so it's a huge piece of me that's being not filled, but let out. And so it's, I don't want to sell my art because I love it. And I look at it, I have it in my house and around me. And it's more than validation. I mean, that's certainly a part of it. When I had someone say, "Look, I'll pay you a good amount of money for my elephant."
$1,700. I'm just going to throw it out
Yeah.
there. Somebody wanted to buy her painting for $1,700. That's a hell of a good start.
Yeah. And I said, "I can't sell it, and so it's just, I have my art around, and there's so much expression. I have a meerkat that I did, and he's in my kitchen. He's above the kind of a cool looking trash can thing that we have. And, I look at him every morning, and he makes me happy. He's just got this funky little, "Hey, I'm up. Let's do the day," and so it inspires me. And, it may sound a bit selfish right now, but eventually I will sell it. And, as the more I paint, I'm not going to have room for everything. So I already have some things that are kind of stacked up. So I thought when I started the process that it was to sell the art, but what I found was, and it will be eventually, but what I found was it was more fulfilling a missing piece of me. And, so having it around me right now is just, it's part of that. And I'm new to it all. So it's a journey, and it'll evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
love that,
joy,
Charla.
what it does is bring me joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it adds a real rounding out of who you are. You already had a great life, great husband, great job. And now your artist is let out.
That's right. That's right.
So what would you tell others that are in the position that you were when we met last June, who are maybe on the fence with doing the program and really jumping into their art?
I would say you owe it to yourself. We only live one time. Well, I guess depending on what you believe, but you shortchange yourself if you don't. And I know there's other programs out there, and I have looked at some of them since. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than what Kellie does.
Wow,
And
thank you.
absolutely. And I have a business that people compare me to, and other things, and our content it's up there. It's the best, and people love it. And it's the same with Kellie. So it's just I got a lot more out of it than what I paid for it, for sure. It was so worth, I would pay twice what I paid to do this again.
Good to know,
Yeah.
Charla. All right. I can't thank you enough for being here. And if any of you out there want to jump on an art breakthrough call with me, like Charla did a few months ago, excuse me, you can book a call with me at kelliedayart.com/booking. Kellie is with an IE. dayart.com/booking. We'll jump on a call like I did with Charla, and we'll find out where you're stuck with your art, what you need to move forward. And if I can help you get there, then I'll show you what that looks like. Please don't book a call with me if you're just looking for free information. This is only for women who are ready to fulfill that missing piece of themselves, take their art to the next level and invest in themselves, and just live your best creative life that you have in you while you're here. So Charla, thank you so much for being here. And for all of you, please leave a comment. Let us know if Charla's story inspired you or any questions you have, and I'll be sure to go in and respond. We love hearing from you. Charla, great to see you.
You too. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care and keep in touch. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay. Thanks so
All
much.
right. Bye.
Bye.